something played out on Sunday, but a lot of people got wind of it yesterday. And we're going to show you the moment that First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu walked up to the Oshun State Governor Adeleke in Ile-Ife during an event marking the 10th coronation anniversary of Ooni of Ife. And she was actually conferred as well with the chieftaincy title of Yeye Ashiwaju of Ile Odua. But what got a lot of people talking was this moment when Governor Ademola Jackson Adeleke was about to speak, but he started off by singing. So she approached him and said, you know what, go straight to your speech, leave all this protocol, else, makbalemo, which in Yoruba means I'll move you away in that sense. So take a listen to what played out and we'll speak to it.
Which kind?
So that played out on Sunday. Different angles to this. There are those who say, well, they are close friends, right? Senators, so they have their way of doing things. There are those who say, well, the governor is known to dance, sing at events, so this is not new. Why should anybody go ahead and do that? But the point is this, whether they are chummy or not behind the scenes, at that moment where he had the podium with the seal of Oshun State, he was a governor. He still remains a governor until otherwise. So every respect that would go to him should be accorded to the office and not the person. And when I say respect or disrespect, you look at the office and you approach it that way. So it may have been in a jocular sense, okay, you're my person behind the scenes. But at that moment, that was the governor of Oshun State about to give a speech. Whether or not he was singing or doing preambles is another thing entirely. And I think it just doesn't look good, leaves a very bad taste in the mouth. Again, as I said, it's been said that they are chummy behind the scenes, or maybe they are not. I really do not care. But that office should be respected, and I don't think that was right at all.
Jeffrey?
I'm just tired of disgraceful moments by officials. So for the records, she was a first lady. She was a first lady as governor when the husband was governor.
Was the first lady
of Lagos State. So she's built her profile as a senator in her own distinguished career as a senator. Multiple times she's been at the Senate, and now she's a first lady of the Republic. So 2 times first lady, first as a statesman, then a senator. So there's a lot that is expected of her in terms of conduct. As it is right now, I'm not a fan of First Lady office, whether it's in America or in Nigeria. I just feel that that office is a waste of our resources. Whether it's a First Lady of a state, First Lady of a whatever First Lady. But it is what it is. It's a convention we accept her to. So she's not a public official. She's actually a public figure, because there's nothing in the Constitution that recognizes her office in any shape or form. I'm giving this legal background to even push further the point that Kayode has made. That's an elected governor of a state. He may be a very jovial, jolly good fellow, easygoing guy, but that doesn't mean you should take him for granted. What she did was beneath dignifying, and it is disrespectful. It demands an apology from her as the wife of the president to the office of a governor, because there's nothing in our law that recognizes her office. It's not just about her, it's about that office of First Lady. It's just a convention. But this is an elected government in Oshun State, and she was in Oshun State. Whether he was wasting time, I can understand maybe he wasn't reading the room well, she needed to leave, but there's a way to speak to someone in public. This is beneath dignifying. It's disgraceful to see what has just happened. We're not off the Wike Yerima issue, now this has played out. And this is not the first time I remember the face-off between her and Elijah Abo during the sex toy incident. I remember what happened, I think, in the Senate plenary one time. Smart Adeyemi was speaking. I think she was asking him if I stand to be corrected about whether you in PDP now. So we could go on. And this is not good for Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of the president. I think if she knows what is right and if she reflects on action, she should know she dropped the ball. She didn't conduct herself properly at that level as a wife of the president of the Federal Republic, to be able to walk up to a governor and speak to him just like you're speaking to a child. Well, what is going on with all of us? What is happening to us as a people? This is beneath dignifying. And me, I will just say it as it is. These moments like this demands, I don't know whether it's going to be a public apology. Maybe there may be too much ego to say she apologized publicly. But no matter the relationship behind the scene she has, as Kayode has said, look at what is written there, seal of the governor of that state. She has more authority than him, even though she's the wife of the president. You understand? So I just feel that this is not good. We've spoken about...
No, he has more than her.
Sorry, he has more authority. That's what I wanted to say. My apologies. He has more authority than her at that moment. He could shut down that event and nothing will happen. It will just be, oh, why would you do that? The wife of the president was there. That was just her. There's so much authority. That is why that seal is there. So it is not right for the wife of the president to conduct herself the way she did. And I think this should not happen again. Let's not see this display of lack of decorum by, she's not a public official, as a public figure in this sense, because this is unacceptable.
Well, I'm in a difficult position here. I don't know why I get the sense that I am in a difficult position, particularly because, you know, as wife of the president, she's also female, and you know, she's a symbol of female leadership in Nigeria, which is, you know, currently endangered. But regardless of that obvious fact, she's a high-impact woman. She was senator, even as first lady. You know, she brought on a difference to that office while she was first lady in Lagos State. You know, you cannot take from Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, you know, the strength of character that she brings to, you know, her duties as a professional. But there are exceptions, you know, obvious exceptions to the rule, particularly in that incident in Oshun State. You know, one of the first things that came off of my mind was, okay, what is the ethos that's obtainable amongst, you know, politicians as they interact behind closed doors? Perhaps, you know, they can be, you know, chummy to an extent that could be misunderstood as you know, something inappropriate when it comes to public conduct, and maybe that was what was brought to the fore. But I had to do a double take on the event that was taking place, and I'm like, okay, this is taking place in Oshun State, and Governor Adeleke is the host, the elected governor of Oshun State. Even if Governor Jackson Adeleke was speaking in his capacity as governor in another event, and he held the microphone at that particular point in time, it behoved on whoever, you know, was uncomfortable, at least to accord him that respect, to have his time with the microphone. So this was not particularly in bad taste. It doesn't matter if ideologically you're in different groups. He is in the PDP, by the way. He's on his way to another political party now. That's another matter entirely. We now have partyless governors. Maybe we'll be having that conversation later on. Even if he's not, you know, approaching the APC, he's ideologically opposed to the APC, it really doesn't matter, you know, whatever the differences are behind the scenes. He is an elected governor, and he reserves, you know, the right to exercise the powers due to that office at that particular point in time. And this goes to everyone who holds, you know, office in one capacity or the other, who may think that at that material time, they have that moment, they have the office, you know, they are the ones in power, as we think in, political parlance at this point in time, and then they can, misuse the power in any way that they think they can. Power intoxicates, evidently, so we must exercise decorum every now and then, just a bit of discipline and observance of rules and principles guiding public conduct. And so Governor Adeleke deserves an apology for what transpired.
Because what is good is good. What is bad is bad.
Absolutely.
It's as clear as crystal.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on that,
Yeah.
whether or not they have a relationship. But I must say on the side, and I don't want this to cover the main issue, and that's why I didn't mention it at all. Governor Ademola Nuruddin Jackson Adeleke, great man, jovial person.
Jolly good fellow.
Jolly good fellow.
The dancing governor.
Yeah, but there are times that these things are too much. And I must say, for every public official in Nigeria, first you get late to events. Events are meant to start for 10 a.m. You're arriving at 12:31. I know there are times things happen, but it shouldn't be every time. So they come late, people are waiting, Nigerian citizens who elected them into office are waiting. Now, I'm not speaking to this in particular, but this is a trend I have seen. And then they give their speech. It's a lengthy speech. On the schedule, it says you're meant to speak for 10 minutes, right? But then you go on and end up speaking for 25 minutes, turn it into a mini campaign, say all sorts of things. We must do better with time management. We've always joked about African time, Nigerian time, but it must stop. If you're given 5 minutes, spend 5 minutes. Never mind that you are governor, president, senator, or what have you. Stick to time. Show discipline when you're right there, because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the people. So perhaps this was what irked the First Lady. Her reaction was definitely not justified as a result of that. But maybe keep the singing for Thanksgiving events, keep the dancing as well for campaigns. When it's time to speak, let us go straight for it. So that is my takeaway as well for public officials, because I've attended too many events where these things play out. We must respect people's time.
Trust me, it will not happen. That's my guarantee. They will never change. I'm just telling you. So I think this is December. We're going to a new year.
I think the ship has sailed on that one. The people of Oshun State knew who they were electing before they elected him.
I'm not limiting it to Oshun State.
He was a dancing senator.
No, I'm not limiting it to
No, he wasn't limiting it to Oshun.
General thing.
It's a general.
You're giving 10 minutes.
It wasn't about him.
But
this is our
about
work.
the dancing
We know these
part,
things, yeah.
the dancing part and the singing part.
Yeah.
I think that the people of Oshun State knew what they were getting into before they elected him. So if anyone is complaining at this point, they're wasting their time.
Let's see what we're doing. I'm just guaranteeing Coyote ahead of time, because we host events. It will not happen, at least not now, when politicians like to make an entrance. They like to make a statement. There's something about power in them that they like to show. They want to, when you're seated, you want to hear, wah, 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 come in first. That's the announcement. His Excellency.
But we've had leaders that stick to time. One of them is late former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes.
That's one of the things you hear about him. He gets there at the right time.
Yes.
In fact,
those are outliers. He's a former military man, so what do you expect?
It's Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday morning.
Just rant. Anyway, but I think we've said what we said. The conduct of the First Lady was not good. I think it should be sorted. It should do better next time.